Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, and today we are playing an old favourite, and that is the blue-white artifact deck revolving around Simulacrum Synthesizer, although we have added a new colour in red, and I'll get to that in a minute. I know we play this deck a lot because basically in every set it gets upgrades, although in Final Fantasy I suppose that was questionable whether it was an upgrade, but we have got some very good new cards. So in the one drop new card slot we have Synthesizer Labship. Now people have heard me speak and seen the video I did at the weekend around Station. I'm not very hot on spacecraft and the station mechanic, but I think the Labship is one of the best ones because one, it's incredibly cheap to play, it's a one drop, and its first ability is key here. So when you get 2 charge counters on it, meaning you just have to tap something with 2 or more power, it gets the ability to begin combat on your turn. Up to one other target creature you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 2/2 and gains flying until end of turn. This is really good. We obviously have a huge amount of artifacts, so we can turn anything into a 2/2 and hit in with flying just for damage. If we have an artifact that still has summoning sickness, we can turn it into a creature and crew the Labship some more. Or obviously, the big thing is when the tokens from the synthesizer, their one downside is they have no evasion. So you can have an army of 15/15s, but if your opponent has an army of 1/1s, they can block it. We can give only one a turn, or I suppose more if we have more Labships, flying, and +2/+2. Obviously, the constructs into 0/0s and get +1/+1 for each artifact we control. The Labship will turn them into 2/2s that get +1/+1 and flying. So it ends as it basically is a finisher or turns our constructs even better finishers. And then if we get up to 9 charge counters, it becomes a 4/4 flying vigilance, which is no mean thing. And obviously it's really easy to do because we are going to have an army of huge constructs. Although at that point it's win more. The other new cards, we do have 2 copies of Cryogen Relic. And I think you could probably go 4 copies of this and take out the Voyage Homes. It's 2 mana artifact. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, you draw a card, and then we can pay to sack it, put a stun counter on up to 1 target tap creature. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't tap the creature, so we probably have to take a hit. But what's really key is we play this, we draw a card. If we repurpose and bay this into a synthesizer, we draw a card and then get a synthesizer. That's really, really good. And yes, there is the upside of we can put a stun counter on it. And then the final new card, apart from the land, is Pinnacle Emissary. And this is in red, and this is incredibly powerful in this deck. And I'll explain why. So it's 3 mana, 3/3. So obviously, off the top, it triggers Synthesizer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, that's important. So even if you get counter, you still get the benefit. You create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature token flying. With this token, can only block creatures with flying. That's great. 1/1s aren't going to win you the game, but if we get a few of these, they do make our constructs bigger because they're artifacts. But then we can warp it for 1. Even when we warp it for 1, it's a 3 mana artifact. So we warp it for 1, we still trigger Synthesizer. And let's say we have 4 mana, we can warp this for 1, trigger the Synthesizer, play out a Braiding Net, Perilous Snare, Repurposing Bay, whatever it is, trigger Synthesizer, get 2 constructs for 4 mana essentially. We're going to create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact, which will increase the power of the constructs, and then later on we get to play with Emissary again. If you've got 2 of these in hand, you can walk both of them and then play something. You're going to get huge amounts of value. I really, really like this card, and it's a really good reason to splash red. Rounding out the rest of the deck, our cards we've seen before. Clay-fired bricks, it helps us get land, and it helps us gain life, and if we need to, it can buff our entire board. Synthesizer, obviously, repurposing Bay can turn Clay-fired bricks and the Relic into Synthesizer. Braiding Net can just tap creatures, and then we can craft it into the Braided Quipu to draw a huge amount of cards. Perilous Snare for removal. United Battlefront to hopefully not whiff, but we do whiff quite a lot. We do have, I think, maybe more lower than 3 mana artifacts than before with the Labship, Cryogen Relic, Emissary, Emissary's 3-drop, sorry. And then, as I said, the 2 copies of Voyage Home. Inventive artifact, so we're never paying 7, draw 3 cards and gain 3 life. In the mana base, we do have 2 copies of Uthros Titanic Godcore, the blue tapped planet, and if we get up to 12 charge counters, we can play 1 and tap it to add blue for each artifact we control. So Tolarian Academy is one of the most powerful lands ever printed, and that is exactly the same, but Tolarian Academy, you don't have to pay blue to tap it. This is win more. Again, we can power it up quite easily, but if you can tap a 12 power construct, you're probably going to win. And you get to the stage where, you know, how much you're going to have to play. Yeah, if we can get it and we have a voyage home and we get, you know, we happen to draw 3 more 3-drops or United Battlefront and whatever, then great, but it's very rare. And because we do have a 1-drop, it's not ideal to play on turn 1 but if we get it, we want to get it out of the way, get it on the battlefield. Then we just have, you know, 4 Meticulous Archives, 2 Thundering Falls, 4 River Pyre Verges, Mountain, Island, 5 Plains, and 4 Flood Farm Verges. So a really powerful deck. I said this deck seems to get upgrades or new cards in every single format because obviously artifacts are always going to be around. And I think the Pinnacle Emissary and the Synthesizer Labship are really, really good in this deck. I do really like the Labship being able to basically buff a creature or create a 2/2 and go over the top's really, really good. And yeah, flooding the board with 1/1s from the Emissary. Part of me's thinking of trying this with Elspeth or the new token doubler Angel, so we can double up the tokens from Pinnacle Emissary and the tokens from Repurposing Day. Maybe that's something for towards the end of the format, but we'll see. Hope you like it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe. I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons. They are Arcadius, Arik, Milhow, and Adrian and Thomas. I just said someone's name twice. Arik and Arcadius are the same person. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you everyone else for your support. Again, a lot more engaging in comments. I really, really like it. I try and respond to all of them. Well, I do respond to all of them, even though it might be a heart, because sometimes there's not much I can say in response. But yeah, ask a deck. Someone has asked for a deck I'm going to be playing next week. Ask for, you know, hints and tips, and I'll do what I can. And so really, really liking the engagement at the moment. So long may it continue. But for now, I'll see you all in the gameplay. Our opponent does go first. Well, Braided Net can keep things tapped down. And hopefully United Battlefront can find us more stuff. Obviously we're up against a life gain deck. How much is that to equip? 3, so they can swing with it next turn. Oh, that was warped in, obviously, wasn't it? Well, let's get down plains and a clay fire bricks. Grab another plains. And next turn we can whack down a braided net. And obviously maybe tap something down. They are drawing a lot of cards. There's another braided net. See, next turn we United Battlefront. And hopefully we can hit some synthesizers. Go on. That's going to grow the pride, mate. Surprise. Right. I think we have to Battlefront and hope we hit well. I think 2 synthesizers. Don't need another land. I will keep Pinnacle Emissary. And I'll put the synthesizer at the top then. Because then, I mean, if I attack, we are double blocking. They may have something, which is fine. Still not trample. So they do gain a huge amount of life. And draw even more cards. Right. We have 6. Oh, we can't voyage home now anyway. I'm going to keep both of those. Let's get down a Labship then. And I won't station. More life gain. We could do with a Perilous Snare. But we do have 3 synthesizers, so every braided net's gonna... we will just block with 1. Well, we will warp this in. Because it still counts as a 3 drop. And we will station with the Emissary. And we can tap down the Essence Channeler. Let's give you flying. And our opponent scoops up against, they had, what, 63 life before that, and 21-20, but we had 6-15-15s, yeah, having 3 synthesizers. And then, yeah, we can voyage home to draw loads, that draws us a card, Braided Net creates 3 more, then we can Pinnacle Emissary properly. So, yeah, we're going to have a massive, massive board. We don't have any white mana. That could be a problem. Oh, we've got to give it a go. We do get a scry. Oh, there's another synthesizer. There's white mana. Not a great mana dork. And they are completely tapped out. Well, almost completely empty-handed. Let's Clayfire Bricks. And grab a Plains. Next turn we get down Synthesizer number 1. Next turn we get down Synthesizer number 2. We'll put the Starship back. I do like the Emissary. We'll get down the Synthesizer and the Labship next turn, and the turn after we will warp the Pinnacle Emissary and then play out probably a Braided Net maybe. So they're clearly an artifact deck. I just don't know why. We will scry. I'm going to keep those because double spelling's always good. And next turn we can turn on the seed chip. There was a stick, so they had an instant or something with flash. Oh, so the mascot counts as a dragon. But what are they ramping into? Oh, Ugin. Well, we can get rid of that. With a perilous snare. Let's warp in. Perilous snare. Goodbye, Bugin. Let us station. Let's turn on a clay fire bricks. And they're not far from just being dead. If we have another Ugin, that doesn't do it. Yeah. Even if I kept everything back, we can give one of our constructs flying with a Labship and just smush. We go first. Well, we can do the clay fire bricks into repurposing bay. And obviously clay fire bricks does get us our third land. Well, nuts. We don't like artifact removal. Well, let's just meticulous archive then. Yes, we could be in trouble. Can we at least hit one? Well, at least we know. We can definitely get another one. We know it's going to destroy it. Yeah, that's fine. I've got a glimpse the core. We have a braided. Well, we just have to hope they don't have too many more insidious funguses in hand. You. For a Simulacrum. Yeah, sure. And we will station do you have a bounce spell? You do have a bounce spell. We still get the counters. And then we can tap down their green shell. And hopefully with our Battlefront we can find some more goodies. Or do I go Pinnacle Emissary, Repurposing Bay, Clay Fire Bricks? And our opponent scoops. Boom. Yeah, we get down another braided net, so we can tap down both their green shells. We can make our Labship a creature, and we're not too far away from being able to turn on Uthros Titanic Godcore. I'm going to mulligan this. Well, that is no better. But at least we can Cryogen Relic. We just need a land. Well, there is a land. Unfortunately, it is tapped. Well, we need a fourth land. I think... Oh, it has to be tapped. Well, at least I attack with it. But I suppose we can just Perilous Snare next turn. But we will do that. Well, there's the fourth land. Let us Battlefront. And whiff quite badly. At least we can get a Synthesizer down. And Synthesizer Labship. All the Synthesizers. Oh, they have another Nimpa Cow. We're going to have to Perilous Snare that. I think we have to do this. Yes, please. Oh, we're going to shuffle them away. In that, I won't Clay Bricks then. I will Labship. Or, no, because next turn we can double cast if we get a Plains. So, sorry, Simulacrum Synthesizer. We can Perilous Snare twice or get a Repurposing Bay. Because we're going to need those big creatures. Or we don't.